Hello, Farhan.
Hey Gregory, how's it going?
Everything okay? Everything good?
Nice,
I
nice.
wake up early, learn English a lot of, not a lot of, was walking. Now I have 1 hour for our class,
Great,
for your,
fantastic.
for your
Welcome.
class. How are you?
Things are great. Just drinking some tea, and today was a very busy day. I worked about 10 hours, I think, already, but it was very fun, learning a lot of new things, and didn't get a chance to go outside, unfortunately. The weather was beautiful. I went to just into the balcony
Mm,
to take some pictures to send to some of my friends.
mm.
But besides that, it was really good day, beautiful weather, calm. Nothing major happening.
Great.
Yeah. What about
Good
you?
for
Did
you.
you do anything interesting recently or last night?
Now I'm going to work. After that, I have treat my car. After 10,000, no, thousand. All 10 kilometer, 1,000, yes?
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah.
Kilometer treatment, auto treatment. I'm going to garage and my brakes make cracks, cream, no, like that.
Uh-huh.
So I go to fix car after work, and, and it's beginning of holiday.
Yeah, today is Friday, so
Friday, tomorrow we have holiday as usual. So today it's beginning.
today's the beginning. So are things is it very quiet today? People aren't going to work?
As usual, no, but I yes, because
Uh-huh.
my pressure on work. I'm going because money too.
Yeah, of course. Money is important. Money is a big reason for working. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I know here we don't have any major holidays until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks from today. So November 28, I think, is going to be Thanksgiving this year.
Mm.
It's going to be very fun, very exciting, I think, for a lot of people. Um, a lot of shopping. I'm sure in the United States on Thanksgiving, we have the day after Thanksgiving is called Black Friday,
Mm.
and everybody shops on Black Friday for electronics, especially, but gifts, every gift you can think of, because it's just 1 month before Christmas, roughly
Mhm.
1 month before Christmas, Hanukkah, and everybody just buys a crazy amount of gifts. They try to influence their friends and their family and make everybody happy. Husbands buy their wives gifts, wives buy their husbands gifts, everybody buys the children gifts. So it's a very fun time for everybody. Now is the best time for visiting the United States to see the culture. I think in the winter we have the most culture, the Thanksgiving and Christmas and especially in a New York or one of those large cities with snow and a beautiful winter weather. It's cold, but it's very beautiful in the snow sometimes. Christmas in the snow.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a very nice experience. I know in South America and Australia, they don't. December for them is the Christmas time is the heat of summer for them. It's the most warm time in the year, and we don't have anything like that. Ours is exactly the opposite. So, but it's nice. It's nice to have that experience. Um, so yeah, Gregory, let's get started. It doesn't seem like there's anybody so far. Um, so today we are actually going to be looking at something that maybe you have some ideas about or some interest about. We're going to be first looking at the second conditional. So how do we create the second conditional, right? And how we can use the second conditional as well. But we are also going to talk about Edward Snowden. So Edward Snowden is this American former employee of the U.S. government who is in Russia, who has received asylum in Russia, and we don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to survive because Vladimir Putin gave him asylum just until August of next year. So another maybe 9 months, right? And he needs to decide what he wants to do, right? Who cares what he does? I mean, for me, it's interesting that Russia has given him asylum out of all the countries in the world, and that he also now has a new job, right? So it's interesting to hear. For me, it's interesting to see uh, what he will do now in his job. I mean, this is a guy who, in his first job, he secretly and illegally found out all this information, right, about the U.S., about foreign policy, about all these different things. And now he has a job. I don't know what his employer is going to think of him. You know, it'll be cool. I mean, if there was somebody like somebody who you
He's
knew,
spider. I don't understand. He's spider. This spider. No,
yeah, he was a spy, right? So what he did, I mean,
spy.
he worked as an analyst for the National Security Agency, the NSA, right? And the NSA is kind of the head spy organization in the U.S. They spy on everything, right? But he was an employee, and he found a lot of information, secret information about the U.S., the United States, like the CIA, what they
He
do
sends this
outside.
information to Russia.
He sent this information to just the internet. He just published it online.
Hmm.
He published all the information online. It became public. People heard all of these secrets
So
all
he
over the
is
internet.
traitor.
That is the idea, yeah. In the United States, he's a traitor. So he ran away. He was in Hong Kong for a few months or maybe a few weeks. He was trying to find a place to stay, and eventually he moved to Russia.
Soldier in Russia. He have soldier.
Yeah, he found asylum in Russia. So Russia told him, okay, you can stay here 1 year, right? So now he has a job. Edward Snowden, he has a
I
job.
don't understand word asylum. It's a house for crazy people. Asylum. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's another word for asylum, actually. So that's a great question, Gregory. Asylum can be a mental asylum, right? A mental asylum is the one you're thinking about, Gregory, which is a house for people who have mental problems, right? But if
Yeah.
somebody receives asylum, it also means that have received a place to stay because they
Like
are
shoulder. Yeah.
shelter, yeah, because their lives are in danger, right? So asylum is like shelter. It's like, for example, Israel has a huge history of asylum, actually. A lot of Jewish people from many other countries, if they do aliyah to
Um,
Israel,
I
right,
see.
then
I
they
see.
get asylum in Israel. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a similar idea. Uh, let's welcome our other person. Hey, how's it going, Mariella? Mariella, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hey,
Hi,
Mariella,
good
how's it
night.
going? Good to see you.
Fine. Um, Sorry, but I am late and I don't understand the beginning of the class. What is the topic really?
Yeah, sure, fantastic. I can explain that to you, Mariella. So we are actually talking about Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden was this American guy. Did you hear about him in the news by any chance, Mariella? A guy named
No.
Snowden. Okay, so this was an American guy who worked for the United States government, and when he worked for the United States government, he had a lot of information, a lot of secret information, but because
Okay.
he didn't like what he saw in that information, he decided to make it public. So this was secret information for the U.S. government, and he made it public. So now a lot of people in the world know this information because he released it to the public on the internet, right? Then what Snowden did, this guy did, was the United States was trying to catch him, because he broke the law, but he decided to go outside the country. He left the U.S., he ran away, and he found a home in Russia. He found a home in Russia. So Russia told him, you can stay and live here until next year, until next August, actually. So today's article is going to focus on how this guy has actually found a new job, actually, in Russia. So he is starting to slowly rebuild his life. But the
Okay,
United
it's
States is
very
still looking for him.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
He is like the hackers, like Anonymous or something.
Yeah, kind of like that. Absolutely. He was a computer specialist of some kind in the U.S. government, but he had information. He had a lot of information. Maybe he hacked that information. Maybe he found that information, but then he released it, which is illegal, right? So that caused a lot of problems.
I know
Mhm.
I know other case, but I don't remember the name of this person. But he's a refugee
Refugee, refugee.
refugee in New Zealand or something like that. It's very knowledge in white word because he create a web for for that you can download this secret information.
Uh-huh.
But I don't remember the name.
WikiLeaks, are you talking about Julian Assange?
WikiLeaks, exactly, WikiLeaks.
Yeah, WikiLeaks, right? So WikiLeaks was this other website, right? And the founder of that website was a guy named Julian Assange, or Assange, I don't know how his name is pronounced.
Exactly.
This guy he is actually, I believe he is Australian, maybe he's British. I don't know his nationality, I forgot actually. But he is in asylum. He's not in asylum, actually. He is still hiding in the embassy of Ecuador in London, right?
Okay.
Ecuador gave him asylum, but he is in England, and if he leaves the Ecuadorian embassy, the British police will arrest him.
Exactly. Sorry,
Yeah.
but I am something like a fan of all these guys because I think that there are very brave people that they feel that something not is good, something is bad in the world, and they share this important communication for all people that are very interested in this world really function for all people, not for few people.
Yeah, they have a lot of supporters. They have a lot of supporters, and what they do, they believe that in the current world, in the modern world of information technology and information sharing, that people have a right to know the truth, right?
Exactly.
That's their point of view. So, and we'll talk about this, Mariela. I'm really glad that you have an interest in this. If you don't mind me asking, Mariela, where are you from? I didn't get a chance to ask you, I think.
Sorry, I don't introduce myself. I am Mariela. I am from Mexico. This is my second day in Colingo,
Uh-huh.
but never take class with you.
Uh-huh.
This is the first with you. I first that Colingo. It's a very, very interesting network,
Uh-huh.
and I can see the future across of Colingo because I think that this is innovation, and for me it's better than Facebook. That Facebook is like silly, stupid in some ways.
Uh-huh.
Colingo for me is a way to contact other person, and I am very sure that in the future all persons could to learn a lot of things across of networks like Colingo. It's very interesting.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. Congratulations to you for joining. I think it's great that you're a part of this, part of
Thank you.
this program.
I
Yeah.
am from Mexico. I am a woman. I have 40 years old. I work in like personal assistance in a company that sells sugar
Uh-huh.
for other companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi,
Nice.
etc.
Nice.
Yes.
So I'm sure you have a lot of international connections. Your company has a lot of international connections, maybe.
exactly. We have um, uh, office in New York.
Uh-huh.
Um, we we are a corporative. I am in the corporative
Uh-huh.
office,
Uh-huh.
and I am learning English because it's very necessary in nowadays, you know.
Yeah, fantastic. No, bienvenida, Mariela. It's great to
Thank
see you.
you. Thank
Um,
you.
I'm actually, so I'll give a brief introduction to myself also, Mariela. My name is Farhan. I live in the United States. My parents are from a country called Bangladesh in Eastern Asia, next to India. So our culture is very similar, India and Bangladesh. And right now I'm in California, but I live in Wisconsin. And I've been teaching on Colingo for about 3 months, and it's been a great experience. So, and I'm 24 years old.
Nice to
Uh,
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And we have our friend with us from Israel, actually, Gregory. Gregory, you want to introduce yourself, Gregory?
You always say that my name is Gregory. I'm
Hi,
from
Gregory.
Israel. Hi. Uh, I engineer working in shipyard, constructor of ships, and I have a family. That's all. And I very like Colingo. I think it's powerful website and it's powerful service. And especially I like Farhan. He is uh, very good teacher,
Thank you, Gregory.
very
I
talented.
agree.
Oh,
I
thank you,
agree.
guys.
The
Thank you.
topic is very interesting. It's the most interesting um, that I enter in during the day.
Fantastic. No, we're gonna learn a lot about this and other topics. I have 2 other classes today after this one, Mariola. So you're welcome to join as many of them as you like. So thank you, guys. Great introductions. Let's get started, guys. Just talking about so the grammar for today. We talked about the article. The article is going to be about this guy, Edward Snowden, right? The grammar lesson that we want to focus on today is the second conditional, right? So when we use the second conditional construction in English, right, what we are really doing is we are talking about events in the future, right? So we are talking about things that will never that are so impossible that it's almost like we are imagining. We are making a wish about the future, right? But the way we make the second conditional actually involves 2 parts. The first part we actually use in the past. We speak in the past. And the second part we use the word would, right? So let me give you guys an example. This is how we use a second conditional. I could say, if I found $100, I would be a happy man, right? If I found $100, I would be a happy man, right? So the found is in the past tense, and then the second part of the sentence, I would be something else, right? Or I would, and then another verb, right? I would buy, right? If I found $100, I would buy a new pair of shoes. Let's say something like that, right? I would buy a new pair of shoes. But it's really impossible for me to find $100. It's a lot of money. I can't just find it in my jeans or in my clothes or something like that, right? So the second conditional is when we have these semi, impossible scenarios, pretty impossible scenarios we use this past tense and would in the sentence to talk about what we would do, right? So let me start, guys, by just writing down the formula here, right? The construction is if plus the condition, right? And the condition has to be in the past. If I found $1 million, if my girlfriend asked me to marry her, right? I would be a happy man, or I would be so happy, right? So that is the second part of the sentence, is the would, and the first one is the condition, right? So the condition is in the past simple, and the result is in the would form, right? So let me start by asking you guys very quickly, right? Um, Gregory, if you found $1 million, what would you do?
If I found $1 million, I would buy apartment for my son.
Fantastic. If I found $1 million, I would buy an apartment for my son, right? Fantastic. I would buy an apartment for my son. What kind of apartment would it be, Gregory? Would you use all of the money on the one apartment?
Half enough. This must be great apartment because he has 6 kids. His
Uh-huh.
6 children.
Yeah, 6 children. So it has to be a larger apartment. Yeah, fantastic, right? So great job, guys. Or great job, Gregory, I should say. And so, Mariola, what would you say if you found $1 million? What would you do?
If I find $1 million, maybe I will to buy a house, a car, a new boyfriend.
Oh,
It's a
fantastic.
joke.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a
okay.
joke. I
Uh-huh.
have a very good guy here. I will to take a little for other person for
Uh-huh.
spread the happiness,
Sure.
for to do reality his dreams or something like that.
Yeah, fantastic, right? So one quick thing, Mariola, remember the first part you should use it in the past tense. So you should say if I found $1 million, right?
If
Not
I
if I
find,
find. Yeah, so it should be if I
if I
found.
found, yes, exactly.
Yes, perfect.
If I found $1 billion,
Uh-huh.
I go to buy a lot of things.
I would buy a lot of things.
I will buy a lot of things.
Yeah, yo compraría muchas cosas, right? Something
Right.
like that. I would buy a lot of things. So it's sometimes we use that conditional actually in Spanish is very similar to the way we use conditional in English, right? So I would
Okay.
buy many things. Fantastic. That's a great job, right? So we use we're talking about impossible things, right? Finding $1 million, finding something, $100, whatever the case might be, right? And then we can use the similar idea. So that's the main idea behind the second conditional, right? We can also reverse the order, guys. So this is the order, right? The order that I showed you guys was first we say if I found, right? First we use the past tense, then we use the would. But you can also just reverse that order. You can say I would buy a new apartment for my son if I found $1 million, right? So the order doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that the condition should be always in the past tense, and the result should always have the would and a verb, right? But the order doesn't matter. So, Mariella, would you mind giving me another example? This time, just reverse the order, please.
I want to be very happy if I found $1 billion.
Fantastic. Now it's 1 billion, right? So 1,000 times, a thousand times more. I would be very happy if I found $1 billion, right? Gregory, one other example from you, please.
We will live in peace if we had agreement with other countries.
Israel would live in peace if it had agreements with other countries. Yeah, fantastic, right? But do you think that's really improbable? Is that really impossible, Gregory?
No, I use second conditional, you see.
Yeah, so it seems like it's highly impossible or highly improbable, right? Improbable.
I'm pessimistic in this
Hey,
stuff.
sometimes it's not the fault of Israel, it's the fault of the other countries. Honestly, Gregory, I think I talked with you about this before. Some of the countries in that part of the world really have no history of compromise, and that's a big problem for the entire area, right? So yeah, but that's a great example, right? So we have somebody else who just joined us. Salims, how are you? Can you hear us? I think maybe there's a mic problem. We're here, Salims, if you want to join us, but you know, uh, we might not be able to hear you. So okay, Guys, so I think that's really good, right? When we use the second conditional, we are talking about these kinds of things, right? Let's jump into the article then, guys. Any questions first about the second conditional before we move on to the article?
No.
No,
It's
thank you.
Makes
pretty
sense?
clear.
Okay, great. If you
Yes,
guys have
makes
any
sense.
questions, let me know, because during the article we are going to focus on the vocabulary. We're going to focus on understanding the article, because this class is a high intermediate class, so we want to focus on the conversation and not so much on the grammar, right? So
Right.
here's the article, guys, the CNN.com article. I am also going to screen share so you guys can see the article when I read it, right? And I'm going to stop as many times as I think is good. So Edward Snowden gets a website job in Russia, lawyer says, right? So he was working with the internet before in the United States, and now he gets another job with computers, right? I mean, what's going to happen? Maybe he's going to spy on his new company. Who knows, right? Edward Snowden's new job, right? Weeks after getting asylum in Russia, Edward Snowden now has a job there, one of his lawyers says. Snowden, the U.S. national security contractor turned leaker, right? A leaker is somebody who leaks information, right? So that's exactly what Snowden did. He leaked information. Will start a job Friday with a major Russian website, his attorney Anatoly Kucherena told CNN Thursday. Kucherena declined to name the employer for security reasons. He told Russian state-run news agency RIA Novosti that Snowden would perform maintenance for the site. Right? His job would be to perform maintenance. Any questions, guys, on these first three paragraphs? Any words you guys don't understand?
No,
Okay.
it's clear.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Europe falls out of love with Obama.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Gregor, go ahead. Yeah.
Attorney.
Attorney is a lawyer. Attorney is just another word for lawyer. So the person who represents you when you go to court is your attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Snowden, a 30-year-old former government information technology contractor, collected information on spy programs in which the National Security Agency mined phone and internet metadata from thousands of people inside and outside the United States and exposed the programs to the media. Right? Any questions about this paragraph? So this explains what Snowden did. Right? He collected information on spy programs with the National Security Agency and internet information from thousands of people inside and outside the United States, and he exposed these programs to the media.
So he was hacker, or it was his job? I don't understand.
It was actually his job, Gregory, right? His job was to work for the United States government in hacking, because the U.S. does a lot of hacking, right? The U.S. hacks into...
So he hacker, but it was his job.
Yeah, his job was to hack for the government.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, to get information for the government, right? But he was so amazed and so angry at how much hacking the United States does that he released this information. He said things like the United States hacks the phone of the German chancellor. The United States listens to the conversations of, the president of Brazil, the president of Mexico also, I think. The United States was listening to their phone conversations, reading their emails, right? I mean, a lot of people became very angry, right? Anticipating legal consequences, he fled to Hong Kong in late May and flew on June 23rd to Moscow, where he was holed up at the airport for more than 5 weeks, right? To be holed up, guys, this is a phrasal verb. Hold up means to be stuck somewhere, to not be able to move from a place. So he was stuck at the airport for 5 weeks, because if he left, maybe the Russian police would arrest him, right?
Sorry, sorry, Farhan, but you
No.
say I can interrupt.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
Anticipating legal consequences. What does it mean?
Great question. Anticipating legal consequences. So this means when you anticipate something, right? You know that something is going to happen, right? So, for example, you are waiting for something to happen, or you were thinking that something will happen. So he was thinking that there would be legal consequences. Legal consequences in this example, legal means anything to do with the law, right? Something from the law is legal. And consequences are results of something. So he was anticipating, he was thinking, and he was worried about what would happen to him legally, what would happen to him maybe for punishment, right? Because it's very difficult to do something in the United States government and just walk away from it, right? If you do something bad in the United States, they will find you, they will catch you, and they will bring you back, right? The United States is very powerful in that regard. They can catch anybody, they can. So he was really worried what would happen to him from a law perspective. He would, maybe America would say, you broke the law, you're a spy, we're gonna get you, right? As a result, he fled to Hong Kong. He ran away, right? And he ended up in Russia. So does that help, Gregory, with that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. U.S. authorities, right, have charged him with espionage and theft of government property, right? Espionage, guys, is a very formal way of saying that he was a spy, right? Espionage is to spy on somebody, right? So he has been charged by the U.S. with espionage, and he also the theft of government property. So he has stolen government property, government information, right?
Right.
After Russia granted him an asylum term of 1 year on August 1st, he left the airport. So he got his asylum on August 1st, right? As Snowden got ready to start his new job, he was also meeting Thursday with the German lawmaker who visited him in Russia. Hans Christian Strobel, a well-known leftist legislator in Germany, met with Snowden in Moscow to invite him to testify before the German parliament. Right? So this lawyer from Germany wants to maybe help him with his problems, right? So according to the website, Snowden also gave a letter to the German parliament, right? Germany has become very angry at the United States after this information got leaked, right? And so now Germany is I think his friend a little bit. Some German people are his friend, right? So let me, yeah, it says at the very end here, guys, it says Germany's Der Spiegel news magazine first reported the alleged operation, citing documents leaked by Snowden, right? So what happened was German's newspaper was the first newspaper that said this information, that the U.S. was spying on German leaders, on world leaders, right? So people there enjoy or appreciate what Snowden did, right? And that's it, guys. So that's the article, really. It's not too long, right? But we have time to talk about some of the ideas that were mentioned here, as well as, do you guys have any questions about the article, just before I move on to the next part?
It's very clear.
It's clear? Okay.
Clear enough.
Hey, Salim. How do I pronounce your name? Salim?
Hello. I'm Salim from Algeria.
Algeria. Nice to meet you. أهلا وسهلا.
Hi, Salim.
Hi, you speak Arabic?
A little bit. مش كويس يعني.
وسهلا.
Yeah, مش كويس يعني. مش كويس.
No. Believe me that in this moment the English language is enough. To travel, to work, to find good salary.
Yeah.
And for me, sometimes I feel that I haven't enough vocabulary to explain all my ideas. But try slowly. Today, we find your website in YouTube. I check English vocabulary lessons. And
fantastic, man. Yeah, welcome, absolutely. So I don't know how much of the article you heard, Salim, but we are going to be discussing now what happened with this guy, Edward Snowden. You know, he's become kind of a celebrity, right? What do you think, Gregory? What should happen to him? What do you think if he is caught by the United States? What do you think would happen?
If he was caught, it's jail for and the end of his life, I think.
Really, end of his life. Would he ever be released, do you think?
I think never.
Why? I mean, he.
I don't know laws of United States, but I understand we have one man who was working on Israel and Pollard. Yes, his name Pollard, and he in United States jail till his life, and Israel working to release him.
Really?
Yes, and great attempt to release him, but it's not. United States so hard in this case. So I think this guy too was in jail.
Yeah, and you know, he doesn't have that much time, right? 9 months. Russia has only given him asylum until August 1st of 2014, right? So he has to figure out a plan.
I think it's a miserable guy because now it's it's campaign about his name, and Russian give him asylum. But after that, no one need him, and he is traitor. He's traitor, and when he trade United States, he may trade all other country. So no one needs him.
Yeah, you know, it's a difficult situation for him, Gregory. I definitely agree that it's not. I would not want to be in his position right now, unfortunately. You know, Mariella, what would you say? What if the United States caught Snowden? What do you think would happen?
I don't know. In first, I think that the United States have the right to maintain the security for all his people. But I think that in the same time, he are lost, very brave and very clever, and a person that have a good core and only thinking to do the well things.
But you know what he did? What he did, Mariella, was he put so many Americans into risk, right? He mentioned people's names. He talked about maybe secret information, right? He made this country more unsafe. He helped the enemies of the United States.
I think that much of these enemies of the United States are like imaginary personage or something. The same rights have other countries to maintain and save his own people. So I think, like Benito Juarez said in the past, your right finish when begin the rights of the other persons. So this activity to hack other communications that are property of other countries is very bad. But I understand the way in that the government, the United States, think. I am not agree, but I can understand.
Yeah.
It's this way. It's for this way, for that United States is maybe in the top of all countries.
Yeah. This is probably the reason, right? The United States, you have to be a little bit, or maybe a lot. You have to break the rules a lot, even with your friends. Even with your friends, if you want to be the top, right? I mean, sometimes it's not intelligence is not a clean business, right? You can't be an honest spy, right? You have to lie. You have to say a little bit, you know. You have to make things seem different than they really are in reality, right? It's the nature of spying, right? It's the nature of spying. Israel has, you know, a very, very good spy agency called Mossad, right? and they have a lot of spies. They have a lot of information, and I was reading a book about the Mossad recently, and those guys, man, they are professional liars. You know, they know how to. CIA, the same thing. FBI, the same thing, right? They know everything about human psychology, and sometimes they break rules. They break friendships, right? To do that. Salim, what would you say about this? What's your reaction? I think you wanted to say something earlier. Yeah.
Believe me, I am new in English language here. Maybe I understand just little.
Yeah, no problem, Salim. So what I was saying was, you know, this guy was working for the United States government. He spied on other countries. He gave information about the United States, secret information, to the entire internet. Now, the internet knows that, for example, Saudi Arabia told Iran, or told the US, we should attack Iran, right? Try to kill Iran, try to destroy Iran, right? Many things that were, you know, secret information between the United States and other countries were now, people know about these things, right? And, you know, the United States was spying on Germany, it was spying on Brazil, many countries, and we wanted it to be a secret. The United States did not want this information to be released.
Everyone knows that who has information has the power.
Ah, it's a good point, right? Yeah. Information is power, yeah, right?
The data is the first of all.
The data is the first thing, the most important thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this moment, U.S. wants to attract the intelligent men or women to explore to exploit them, and to get lots of inventions and. For me, for example, I'm from Algeria, and now I'm with American company here in US.
Yeah.
And I hope to rest here and work here and explore all which I can do here.
Yeah.
In the world, or sometimes we haven't choice to choose something or.
Sometimes we don't have a choice, right? Sometimes we don't have a choice. Sometimes things just happen this way, right? But I really like the.
We must accept the situation like this.
Yeah, we must accept the reality, right?
If we have a choice, other thing.
Yeah, I agree, Salim. Right? That's definitely part of this problem here. But information is king. It's such a good way that you put that. You know.
This is my idea, and please, could I ask you one question, please?
Yeah, sure, of course.
So, your experience in this website.
Here on Colingo?
Yeah, yes.
It's been great. I've been here for 3 months. I've been teaching for 3 months. It's been really good.
Okay, it's great. It's enough.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to do more. It's not enough. I want to do more.
I will study. If I study with you 3 months,
yeah.
Maybe I look like native speakers.
Maybe. I hope so. That's the plan, right?
Believe me, this is my school bag. Already, I work with.
Oxford Learner's Dictionary,
Yes. all time I find to check every noun or.
Yeah, no, I hope I can help, Salim. Definitely, I have more classes, man. I look forward to seeing you in more of these classes. It'll be great.
Believe me, in this moment, the English language is the first language the world used with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If we can perfect our communications, we can get everything.
Yeah, communication and information, they go hand in hand. I agree. Yeah. So it makes sense, Salim. Gregory, very quickly, I wanted to ask you about this link that you sent. Was this the person in Israel who came to the United States?
Yes, Jonathan Pollard. in the jail 28 years, and Israel make a great effort to release him from the jail, and our government working. It's our man. We want him. You know, Israel. We have here habits not leave our people in the trouble, but United States government is so hard in this situation, and Pollard not big crime, he's spy, and nothing help.
Yeah, you know, but it's a very, very strong thing, guys. In the United States, if you spy on the U.S., it's a big deal. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're Pollard or if you're some other person, right, Gregory? I think that's the truth, honestly. People think this guy Julian Assange, right? Assange is not even American. You know, they think he is a big traitor also, right? Assange is not American. He's a big traitor. Snowden was American or is American, right? Big problem. He's going against his own country. Pollard, man, same thing, Gregory. Pollard was born in the U.S. He's American, right? I mean, selling information, giving information. There was another guy who gave information to China, right? And China.
I understand this. People hate traders. For example, we have traitor in our country, so we hate him. I understand it.
So it's difficult. It's very difficult, right? The other side wants this person, but because of national pride, because of many different reasons, we don't see those things, right? So, guys, another question. Do you think Edward Snowden? He now has this new job, right? He has this job maintaining a website for this Russian company. We don't know what Russian company, but some Russian company, right? Do you think he will enjoy his career in Russia, or I mean, what will his life look like? Mariella, what do you think? If you could interview him, what would you ask him? Mariella, are you there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, welcome back. Yeah.
I hear all the views of my mates, and I think that if everyone did the same with their neighbors, what would happen? If all spy to all people, or his sons or daughters, or if I think that not all people is able to do this. In my case, I am not able. And respect to your question, I think that Snowden is unhappy. I don't know why I believe that because for external reasons, she is in another country with maybe alone, without his family, and he is doing maybe other things that not is his principal skills, maybe with prohibitions, several rules, and Russia is very different ideology
from the United States.
The United States. And it's difficult to understand the old face of the money, of the coin. And on the other hand, the weather is very extreme in Russia. So are several factors that make me think that he are and facing several dilemmas in his life.
Yeah, definitely, right? He's got a lot of dilemmas. I mean, the United States can find him, right? If we want, we can grab him. We can grab him, right? It's not going to be that difficult. But maybe because it's Russia, they don't want to do something crazy in Russia, right? They don't want to do something that will cause problems in Russia, because Russia and the United States also have a bad relationship right now. They're not friends, you know. So because of many of these reasons, right? I liked how you said Russia is a cold country. That's a dilemma also, right? You know, it's one of these things where Russia is not the same kind of environment, right? Different language, different kind of environment, different everything, different weather also, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to this guy. I don't know, August 1 of next year, what will happen. Maybe he will go to China or some other country where, you know, the United States has a bad relationship with another country. Maybe that's the idea, right? What about, you know, Salim? What do you think, man? You know, what do you think he is his life right now? What do you think he's doing? What do you think he's thinking? You know, his life must be very difficult because the United States is looking for him. I mean, it's not easy.
I know that you said that there is a good relationship between Russia and the US.
I think yeah.
This relationship is limited. Because the idea is economic war.
Yeah, there's an economic war. Yeah.
It's economic war. It's competition. As competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is the winner?
That's true.
Sometimes I feel that the weather in Russia is influenced a lot with everyone there, but both of them do a lot of efforts to improve that he is the best.
Yeah, and it's interesting with Russia. You know, I don't know. You know, Gregory, do you think he will be able to extend his asylum? Do you think Russia will allow him to stay more time in Russia? What do you think, Gregory? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
More what?
Maybe they're going to use him for some reasons, but I think this guy not right. If he looking for justice, Russia is not place where he can find justice.
Yeah.
And I know this kind of people. If he rebellion in all places. He go against Russian crime and he go against German crime, Germany crime. It's kind of people they never agree with government. So it's a miserable guy.
Yeah.
The weather is not big problem. If it's cold, you have clothes, but environment in Russia not for him. I agree with Mariella. Live without family, without closest people, without friends. It's miserable guy.
Yeah.
He has no future.
Unfortunately, yeah, maybe his future will look very difficult. I was saying, Salim, actually, I'm sorry. I was saying, do you think he will be able to stay in Russia more than 1 year? Because he has time until August of next year. I was asking, do you think he can stay more time? Do you think Russia will give him the permission to stay 2 months or 2 years or the rest of his life? Maybe they'll give him a Russian passport. I don't know. Maybe it's take this, you know.
So I never think to go to Russia, but all my knowledge that Russia is its climate is hard.
Yeah, its climate is bad, but weather maybe is not that big a deal, right, Salim? I mean, if the guy has a family, or if the guy has no family, no friends nearby, then maybe the weather is not that important, right? He has no friends right now. I mean, who knows?
Language more difficult.
Yeah, language barrier is a problem, right? Russian is a difficult language. I don't know.
Then
Yeah.
if we perfect or improve our language in Russian language, we can't use it just in Russia.
Yeah. Maybe actually Russian you can use, I think, in some other countries too, Salim, like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. All of those old countries that were once part of Russia, you can use. But
these countries is ex-Russia.
Yeah, they're all ex-Russia. You're right.
Russia, it's the same.
Yeah, exactly. Ex-USSR, right? Exactly.
In this moment, I would like just to improve our language, and when improve our language, we can get good job, good salary, good relationship with others. Easy to explore our ideas. Get information.
Absolutely, yeah. Information once again is king, right? Information is important.
This is the constraints, the principal hall. No, not hall.
The principal goal works. Goal works. Goal works. Yeah. It is. Information, knowledge, right? It's crazy. And Mariella, last but not least, Mariella, I'll ask you because we're almost at the end of class, but do you think Russia will give him more? Let us use the second conditional. What would happen if Russia gave him citizenship, let's say, if he can stay in Russia as long as he wants? Do you think he would be happy, Mariella?
I don't know. The Russian women are very beautiful. So with a citizen, maybe he could to find the love in Russia. Never think, you know. You know when you born, but not when you die. So I really hope the best for him.
Yeah, maybe Gregory, Mariella's right. Russian women are beautiful. Maybe this guy is lucky. He's in Russia,
Maybe.
Salim, do you agree? Russian women?
I think Argentinian women beautiful too.
Which country? I'm sorry, Gregory.
Argentina.
Okay.
Argentina. From Argentina.
Yeah. There are beautiful women everywhere, right? But it's maybe he will find somebody in Russia and can stay there the rest of his life. We don't know, right? Anyway, guys. So thank you, guys. It was a great conversation. I just wanted to, before we left. Yeah, Salim, go ahead. Yeah.
Believe me, when we perfect our language, our English, we can go together to Russia.
Because we can go together.
Everywhere in the world. If we speak in everyone with English language and he doesn't understand us, the problem is not our problem.
His problem is his problem. It's okay. Sometimes English is a difficult language, Salim. I think you know English is very difficult, right?
No,
it takes practice.
With English language.
Yeah, true. We are all different parts of the world speaking English.
Russian man also must have to learn English.
Yeah, I guess.
English is the first.
Yeah, exactly. That's the solution, maybe, right? We don't know. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Yeah. So just to recap, guys, once again, second conditional, right? We say if we use if, and then we use the past simple tense, right? If I found $1 million, whatever, I would buy a house, right? So that was the second conditional that we learned. If plus a condition plus then a result with using would and be, right? So that was the main lesson, guys. Of course, we talked a lot about Snowden, a lot about spying and about Russia, right? Any other questions, guys, about this class before we have to say goodbye, unfortunately?
Thank you very much. I have to go. Have a nice day.
You too, Gregory. Absolutely, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Salim and Mariella, I have another class coming up now if you guys want to join. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again soon.
Of course. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
just
Bye. Nice to meet you, Gregory. Nice to meet you too.
and just
All of you.
Nice to meet you too, Mariella. Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye bye, Mariela.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. I'll see you later then, Salim. Good to see you. Bye bye.
I don't know where are you, but maybe we see just goodbye, not good night or good day.
Yeah. Where are you right now, actually?
Now I'm in New York, not New York, Albany. Albany is in New York.
Oh, I know. I was actually I lived many years in New York. I live in right now. I'm in California, right? I'm in California right now, but my parents live in Binghamton. Binghamton is south of Albany, southwest of Albany, maybe 1 hour or no, 2.5 hours, actually, I would say. So yeah, I know Albany very well.
So you are welcome in Albany. I have a big house here.
Of course, when I'm there. Right now, I'm in California, all the way in California. But
I am in the house of company, not owner.
I know. I see that.
Down here.
Yeah.
But the house here is from company. It's company G.
Oh wow, fantastic.
Okay. I'm a new engineer with G. I worked at 7 years. 3 years as a pipeline engineer. And 3 other years as rotating equipment engineer.
Fantastic, man.
At this moment, I would like to specialize in the gas turbine.
Wow. Congratulations, man. It's great. I know. I hope you like it. I hope you're enjoying Albany and everything over there as well. But,
you too, man.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, Salim, man. It was a pleasure.
You are welcome anytime.
Yeah, you are as well. Take care.
Thanks, so.
Yep. Bye bye.
Cracks make cracks cream, not like that. So I go to fix car after work, and it's beginning of holiday.
Yeah, today is Friday, so
Friday, tomorrow we have holiday as usual. So today it's beginning.
today's the beginning. So are things is it very quiet today? People aren't going to work?
As usual, no, but yes, because my pressure and work, I'm going because money too.
Yeah, of course. Money is important. Money is a big reason for working. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I know here we don't have any major holidays until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks from today. So November 28, I think, is going to be Thanksgiving this year. It's going to be very fun, very exciting, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of shopping, I'm sure you know, in the United States on Thanksgiving, we have the day after Thanksgiving is called Black Friday. And everybody shops on Black Friday for electronics, especially, but gifts, every gift you can think of, because it's just 1 month before Christmas, roughly 1 month before Christmas, Hanukkah, and everybody just buys a crazy amount of gifts. They try to influence their friends and their family and make everybody happy. Putin gave him asylum just until August of next year. So another maybe 9 months, right? And he needs to decide what he wants to do, right? Who cares what he does? I mean, for me, it's interesting that Russia has given him asylum out of all the countries in the world, and that he also now has a new job, right? So it's interesting to hear. For me, it's interesting to see what he will do now in his job. I mean, this is a guy who, in his first job, he secretly and illegally found out all this information, right, about the U.S., about foreign policy, about all these different things. And now he has a job. I don't know what his employer is going to think of him. It'll be cool. If there was somebody like somebody who you knew,
He's spider. I don't understand. He's spider. Spy? No.
Yeah, he was a spy, right? So what he did, I mean, he worked as an analyst for the National Security Agency, the NSA, right? And the NSA is kind of the head spy organization in the US. They spy on everything, right? But he was an employee and he found a lot of information, secret information about the US, the United States, like the CIA, what they do
He sent
outside.
this information to Russia?
He sent this information to just the internet. He just published it online. He published all the information online. It became, it became public. People heard all of these secrets
So
publicly.
he is traitor.
That is the idea, yeah. In the United States, he's a traitor. So he ran away. He was in Hong Kong for a few months or maybe a few weeks. He was trying to find a place to stay, and eventually he moved to Russia.
Soldier. In Russia, he have soldier.
Yeah, he found asylum in Russia. So Russia told him, okay, you can stay here 1 year, right? So now he has a job. Edward Snowden, he has a job.
I don't understand the word asylum. It's a house for crazy people, asylum. Yeah?
Oh, no, that's another word for asylum, actually. So that's a great question, Gregory. Asylum can be a mental asylum, right? A mental asylum is the one you're thinking about, Gregory, which is a house for people who have mental problems, right? But if somebody receives asylum, it also means that they have received a place to stay because they are
like shelter, yeah.
Shelter, yeah, because their lives are in danger, right? So asylum is like shelter. It's like, for example, Israel has a huge history of asylum. Actually, a lot of Jewish people from many other countries, if they do aliyah to Israel, right, then they get asylum in Israel. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a similar idea. Let's welcome our other person. Hey, how's it going, Mariella? Mariella, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hey,
Hi,
Mariella, how's it going? Good to see you.
Fine. Sorry, but I am late and I don't understand the beginning.
Hello, Farhan.
Hey, Gregory, how's it going?
Everything okay. Everything good.
Nice.
I wake up early, learn English a lot of, not a lot of, was walking. Now I have 1 hour for our class.
Great, fantastic.
For your class. How are you?
Things are great. Just drinking some tea, and today was a very busy day. I worked about 10 hours, I think, already, but it was very fun, learning a lot of new things, and didn't get a chance to go outside, unfortunately. The weather was beautiful. I went just into the balcony to take some pictures to send to some of my friends. But besides that, it was really good day. Beautiful weather, calm. Nothing major happening.
Great.
Yeah. What about you? Did you do anything interesting recently or last night?
No, I'm going to work. After that, I have treat my car. After 10,000, no, thousand, all 10 kilometer, 1,000, yes?
Yeah, 1,000, yeah.
Kilometer treatment, water treatment. I'm going to garage, and my
husbands buy their wives gifts, wives buy their husbands gifts, everybody buys the children gifts. So it's a very fun time for everybody. Now is the best time for visiting the United States to see the culture. I think in the winter we have the most culture, the Thanksgiving and Christmas, and especially in a New York or one of those large cities with snow and a beautiful winter weather. It's cold, but it's very beautiful in the snow sometimes. Christmas in the snow. So yeah, it's a very nice experience. I know in South America and Australia, they don't. December for them is the Christmas time is the heat of summer for them. It's the most warm time in the year, and we don't have anything like that. Ours is exactly the opposite. So, but it's nice. It's nice to have that experience. So yeah, Gregory, let's get started. It doesn't seem like there's anybody so far. So today we are actually going to be looking at something that maybe you have some ideas about or some interest about. We're going to be first looking at the second conditional. So how do we create the second conditional, right? And how we can use the second conditional as well. But we are also going to talk about Edward Snowden. So Edward Snowden is this American former employee of the U.S. government who is in Russia, who has received asylum in Russia, and we don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to survive because Vladimir